In 1790, a tiny, underground Bavarian progressive book club was completely wiped off the map by the state. Yet somehow, centuries later, they are blamed for, well, everything from the French Revolution to the modern global economy. Welcome to this custom deep dive. Today we're exploring the massive gulf between the historical Illuminati and the hyper-mediated global phantom it became.
Yeah, it's honestly a fascinating journey. We're pulling from history, sociology, and even mathematics to decode how this ultimate conspiracy actually functions.
And just a quick disclaimer for you listening. Because our sources touch on some highly charged political and religious ideologies like left-wing radicalism, right-wing reactionary panics, and anti-Semitic propaganda, it's important to state up front that we take no sides here.
Right, absolutely. We do not endorse any of these viewpoints. We are strictly and impartially reporting the historical facts and concepts exactly as they're presented in the sources.
Okay, let's unpack this. Adam Weishaupt founded the order in 1776. And if you look at their actual writings, they were essentially, an underground progressive book club trying to push secularism.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't a cabal of world dominators.
No, not at all. I mean, the Bavarian state completely crushed them by 1790. They criminalized the group.
Banished the members, right?
Yeah, exactly, and forced Weishaupt into permanent exile. So functionally, the group was annihilated. But because their actual end was so abrupt, they left behind this massive narrative vacuum.
Which brings us to the French Revolution in 1789. The monarchy is violently dismantled, and traumatized elites are suddenly staring at the collapse of an ancient dynasty.
Right, and they simply couldn't accept that this massive collapse was caused by, organic systemic decay.
It was scary.
Exactly. They needed a scapegoat. This is a perfect example of what psychologists call proportionality bias.
Right.
It's the human mind's inability to accept that huge world-altering events can result from decentralized or mundane causes. We assume a massive event needs an equally massive intentional cause behind it.
Because it's deeply uncomfortable to accept that history is often just chaotic. So how did a left-wing anti-monarchy group mutate into a right-wing capitalist boogeyman?
That inversion is so wild, it was actually deliberate. In the 20th century, fascist propagandists, specifically a British historian named Nesta Webster, completely flipped the script.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she fused the vague Illuminati myth with a virulent anti-Semitism. She falsely linked the Bavarian group to a totally fabricated narrative of an intergenerational Jewish cabal controlling high finance.
Which is awful.
It is, and that toxic framework later migrated and morphed into Cold War anti-communism. So you had new groups claiming the Illuminati was infiltrating American institutions.
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. What about the Eye of Providence? The glowing eye on the pyramid on the back of the U.S. dollar bill?
Mm-hmm.
People use that as visual proof.
Right, the classic evidence. But anyone who studies our history knows that's just Renaissance Christian art representing God's omnipresence.
Yeah, and Franklin D. Roosevelt added it to the dollar in 1935, right?
Exactly. He just liked the Latin phrase New Order of the Ages for his New Deal reforms. The actual Illuminati symbol was the Owl of Minerva.
Wait, really? The owl?
Yeah. Modern pop stars simply use the pyramid and eye today for a highly lucrative theatrical aesthetic. They know it drives engagement. It's not a secret society, it's just marketing that accidentally fuels digital paranoia.
So if the symbols are historically inaccurate and the group was destroyed centuries ago, how is a modern global conspiracy of that scale even logically possible?
Well, it isn't. Physicist David Robert Grimes actually created a mathematical equation for this.
A math equation for conspiracies?
Yeah.
So what does this all mean? It means keeping a new world order completely secret is basically like trying to have a million-person group chat where nobody ever takes a screenshot.
That is the perfect way to put it.
It's just mathematically impossible.
Right. And yet the belief persists because, for a believer, the total lack of evidence is just proof of how effective the cover-up really is.
Which is exactly why the real danger for you listening isn't a shadowy cabal. The danger is our own cognitive biases, like agency detection.
Oh, right. Our hardwired habit of assuming a person is intentionally rustling the bushes rather than just the wind.
Exactly. Combine that biological quirk with digital algorithms that feed us comfortable fictions to explain a confusing postmodern economy, and you get a self-sustaining myth.
Yeah. If human brains are mathematically hardwired to invent centralized conspiracies just to cope with the anxiety of complex, chaotic systems.
It really makes you wonder, what completely mundane global event happening right now are we currently mythologizing without even realizing it?